welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna talk about my birthing experience. So first I'm gonna say a few expectations that I've had and then what actually happened. So going into labor, I didn't want no epidural, I didn't want any type of drugs, I didn't want to be induced, I didn't want them to speed up the process in any kind of way, and it just turned out that I did all of that. I did all of it because things just, they don't go as planned, and I can't be upset because at the end of the day I ended up having this beautiful baby and that I love so much. So going into it, I thought that, well, first I thought that my water was going to break. That actually rarely ever happens. So what happened to me was that I started getting the contractions. They were very minor. I didn't even know that they were contractions at first because it just felt like pressure, like a lot of pressure going down. But I didn't feel, it didn't hurt or anything. It just felt like a lot of intense pressure. So I was just like, ah, whatever. It's a normal day. And then it turned out that I was having contractions. So then after that, my mucus plug came out. So when my mucus plug came out, everybody was worried. They thought that something was wrong or that they found that weird. So we decided to go to the hospital, and they told me it wasn't time yet, that I needed to wait a little while longer. So they sent me back home, and then from then on, as soon as I went back home, the contractions got even more intense. They started coming much more faster, and I was in a lot of pain, but I was meditating and holding on to it. But looking back on it now, I probably should have just walked a lot, went outside and walked around, because it was a lot. But I was meditating, so it didn't really feel that intense. And then they started coming in 4 minutes apart. So as soon as they started coming in 4 minutes apart, that's when we went to the hospital again, and they admitted me. They said that I was 8 centimeters dilated when I got there. They told me 8 centimeters dilated. I'm like, yes, we're almost there. All I have to do is wait a little bit longer and he'll be out, and that's it. But hours passed by and nothing happened. So one of the ladies working there, she came up to me and she told me, she's like, listen, in order to speed up the process, we need to break your water. So I was like, I don't want any intervention. Going in, I didn't want no interventions. I wanted everything to just happen on its own, happen naturally, just from start to finish, just straight natural. And I looked at everyone, and everyone was like, yeah, we're so excited, we want the baby to come already. And I didn't. I was like, the baby's not ready yet. I don't feel like the baby's ready yet. I don't feel ready to give birth yet. This is happening too fast. But it's been hours and hours and hours since I've been in labor. So what they did was they asked me, and then I was like, okay, fine, let's see how this goes. Break my water, let's see what happens. And they took instrument, and they broke my water for me. And I'm not gonna lie, it was it felt like a whole rush and I just kept leaking everywhere. It was a mess, but it was still interesting. Then after that, I was waiting. I was like, okay, they said that the baby was gonna come out, right after they broke my water. And it turned out that after they did that, my contractions slowed down completely. It went from coming every 4 minutes or every 2 minutes or whatever to coming once every 10, random times. It was just random. So the contractions started coming on and off and randomly, and that was happening for a while. Then a few hours later, they came up to me again, and they told me, hey, this isn't speeding up as fast as we thought. They checked how much I was dilated again, and it turned out that I was only 5 centimeters dilated. Like, I pretty much regressed. All the progress that I was making, everything that I was doing, all the meditation, all the pain that I was holding on to was pretty much for nothing, because they ruined my whole plan. You know, I had a plan going in, and they ruined it. And then from then on, I was like, oh my god, now they're gonna tell me that I'm gonna have to take some drugs to speed up the process. And that's exactly what happened. They told me, oh, you need to take some Pitocin so that the process can go faster. And then as soon as they mentioned that, I was like, okay, well, I'm getting the epidural, you know. And going in, I didn't want no epidural. I didn't want Pitocin. I didn't want none of that. I didn't want no interference whatsoever. I just wanted to have the birth as naturally as possible. So after they gave me the Pitocin and the epidural, I was able to get some sleep because I was really exhausted. And on top of that, I was actually throwing up because I was in so much pain. Like, prior to getting the epidural or anything, I was in so much pain that I was throwing up. Like, it was terrible. But I mean, I was holding on. Like, without the epidural, without anything, I was holding on. I was like, I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna, you know, take this pain, because this is what it means to be a mother. You know, being a mother means, you know, going through a lot of hard times, a lot of pain, in order to ensure that you bring this life into this world and you take care of that life, because that's how much it means. You know, that's the meaning to me. Regardless of everything that I went through, even though everything didn't go as planned, I am still grateful that I've had the chance to actually go through this experience of going through motherhood, giving birth, and I just feel totally blessed. To me, the hardest part was not even the pushing him out. Like, I barely even, like, they told me to push, and it was just like second nature to me. It was like, push. And everybody was just like, yeah, you're almost there. And I don't remember a thing. I don't remember that part at all. It was like almost like an out of body experience, where like it was just like I was there, my body was doing the work, but I was just like mentally I was like somewhere else, but I remember everything. And I pretty much let my body do whatever it was that it wanted to do. However, all in all, I probably wouldn't do it again though. I love my son to death, but I think one is enough. And after going through what I went through and learning everything now as I'm going, like trying to be a mom and, you know, doing everything, you know, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of patience, it's a lot of giving your whole self to a whole other person, you know, being there all the time, and, you know, making sure that they know that you're there, making them feel secure, making them, it's a lot of work, but I have a lot of love to give. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but as I'm recording this video, I'm also rocking my baby in the stroller because wherever he goes, I go, and if we're not together, then it's just, there's a problem. He has separation anxiety, I have separation anxiety, and we're always like this. But yeah, that was my birthing experience. I'm hoping that maybe if I do have another one, I say I don't, but if I do, it'll be maybe a little bit different, maybe something at home in a pool, or like something more natural, because I really wanted it to be such a natural experience, something that just, I didn't want any drugs, I didn't want anybody to get like involved, I just wanted it to happen on its own, like just me dealing with it and just trying to cope with the pain and, you know, the baby coming, and then just me holding the baby in my arms for a long time. But it didn't happen that way. But at the end of the day, I still have a baby, so I can't complain too much. That's it for today's video. Remember to keep your eyes bright and your smile tight. Bye!